Welcome to Reading, Writing, and Rain, the vlog. So I'm Rain Coleman. I am the podcaster, I am the writer, I am the all-around nerd, and this is the vlog. So CampNaNoWriMo, we're knees deep in it. We're about, at the time of this recording, about a little bit over halfway, the halfway mark. And this has been a ride. So for me in CampNaNo, I'm working on a project that is near and dear to my heart. You know, it's actually the second installment to a series that I already started. The first one is done. This is the second book, and I'm still figuring out if this is going to be sort of like a duet or if this is going to be a 3-book series or whatnot, but it is a contemporary fiction story with heavy romantic elements. And I say that versus just saying it's a romance story because I am learning that with romance, there are certain conventions and certain things that need to be met, such as happily ever after or happy for now. And in a lot of my stories, that's not necessarily the case. It's not all terrible, bad, doom and gloom, but it's not always they walk away hand in hand into the sunset. So I'll say contemporary fiction with heavy romance elements. With this story, not to spoil too much, there's a young woman who goes through a sort of kind of traumatic or emotionally challenging situation and removes herself from it, but by doing so has to kind of learn a little bit more about herself, runs into different characters who have her challenging some of her preconceived notions about things and about life and whatnot. And there's, of course, the romance element. There's the love triangle-ness of it all. There's the forced proximity. There's the not so much enemies to lovers, but very much misunderstanding breeding a situation where there may be some stuff. I'm still figuring all of these like tropes and conventions out because for me, I just write and whatever comes out comes out. So finding a way to fit it into these different tropes and stuff, that's also something that I'm learning. But I'm having a really good time writing this story. And for this book, I've actually gone through and I've outlined. Now that's important because for the longest of time, years actually, I was a pantser. And it's always served me well, but trying to write and be more intentional and be more focused so that I don't have tons of paragraphs, maybe even chapters that could be deleted because like, what are they doing here? I've started outlining more. And with every project, I've gotten better and better, and it's a little bit easier. And so that brings us to this current one. And with this current one, the unfortunate thing happened where I got over halfway done and technology was on one that day and I lost it all. Oh my God. So I mentioned that in the Reading, Writing, Rain podcast, episode 7, the lost draft. And honestly, I wasn't heartbroken. And I attribute that to the fact that I actually wrote an outline, that I wrote the outline. I was so intimately connected with the outline that I knew, even with everything that was gone, what happened. So, of course, when I rewrite and I put the words down, they won't be exactly the same, but the beats are there. The story elements are there. And hey, I might, uncover something else, something new that might, help a little bit later. But I say all that to say that with this camp, it has been interesting. And so having to start over and essentially rewrite the same draft that I just lost is actually not so bad. Had this have been me a year ago, 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, I probably would have had a nervous breakdown for like a good week. But at this point, it's like it happened, it's done. Now you just have to maneuver because this has never happened to me before. Like I've written in like 70-page notebooks as a kid. Had some books printed out, manuscripts and whatnot, but I've never lost a complete draft. And I guess I'm grateful to the magic of outlining because, again, I'm not stressed about it. So for camp, my idea is to spend these last 2 weeks, this last half, like getting that first or kind of first and a half, second draft out, like getting it done and complete. Because though I know all the beats that need to happen, all the story elements and whatnot, and I have everything wrapped up in this pretty bow, I want to have it done. And that's an issue for me at times because I can write. Like, I can write. Once I'm in a groove and I'm writing, I can just write and write and write. So I'm trying to get this done before the end of the month, but at least on that last day, and then give myself the first day of May just as like a cushion. Like, okay, you're done. You might just have maybe 10,000 more words to kind of get out, give myself that leeway. Now, how am I going to do this? Well, seeing as at the time of this recording, there's about 2 more weeks left of camp, I'm going to try to get this story done by the end of the month. And I'm actually going to give myself till April 1st just as a cushion, just in case I have like a few more 1,000 words that I want to get out just to kind of wrap things up. I would imagine other people have this same issue that I have. Sometimes it's hard for me to get back into writing, but once I've started, I'm gone. I'm off to the races. Much like, maybe with working out. It may be hard for you to go back after you haven't been to the gym in a while, but once you're in there, are you hitting the ground running for days and weeks at a time? And that's kind of how I am. And so with this project, I'm actually shooting for, I'd say about 3,000 to 7,000 words a day. Now, that could be a lot or a little depending on how you write, but because I do write so much once I'm in the groove, I figure that's a comfortable word count to kind of have in my head. Now, if I go a little bit under or a little bit over, it's what it is. And the funny thing is, I'm tracking these last 2 weeks through word count, but I'm not really focused on word count. So what I mean by that is once I get to the end of the book, it's just the end of the book. However many words it is, that's just what it is. Now, of course, you want to make sure the words are in line with your genre and all that good stuff. But if I end this story and there's 100,000 words, that's just what it is. I may, alter it a bit, want to get it edited and all that good stuff. But if there's less, you can always add to and you can always take away. My biggest issue is because I have lost the first attempt at a first draft, I want to get this story done from start to end. And I'm just using that word count as kind of a benchmark to kind of see how my progress is going, but I'm not really focused on it. So there's that. So another thing that is, well, a little piece of, I don't even want to call it this advice, but something that I heard recently within the last month. I was watching a video, or was this a podcast? I think it was a video, but either way, the young lady who was speaking essentially said, you're going to take as long as it takes to get the thing done. So if you give yourself a day, you're going to take a day to get this thing done. If you give yourself a couple hours, you're going to take a couple hours to get this done. And I'm trying to take that to heart because I may say 2 weeks and give myself that 2 weeks and it take 2 weeks to get this done. But if it takes a little bit longer, more than maybe the first day in May, I'm not stressing about that. I'm not beating myself up. The idea is to get it done much sooner. I don't host writing sprints, but I was thinking like maybe that's something I need to do because when I'm online, I'm on YouTube and I'm looking at different creators and whatnot, and they're hosting these sprints. That first draft, I got that done. Well, not done. I got the halfway to the point where I lost it. I got a lot of that done just by being on these writing sprints. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm weird in this way, but I'll definitely go back and watch a playback and write. But I like to be there in the moment when someone is hosting one, just like jump on and get the work done there. It feels a little bit more exciting, but whatever. But so I'm trying to find creative ways to, outside of just scheduling blocks of time to get this work done, I'm trying to find other ways, other writing sprints that may be going on. I know NaNoWriMo, the official brand or page, they have some, then they have different interviews and whatnot. It's a whole lot going on. That's specifically what they're focusing on. But that being said, if you know of any sprints that are coming up within these last 2 weeks of the camp, please comment below. Any channels that you guys are fans of and you spend a lot of time on, you're a writer, if you have your own, I don't care how big, it could be a small channel, big channel, whatever. I just like the communal aspect of like being online, conversing a bit, setting a timer, and like getting those words in. I really like that. Everyone coming back, maybe sharing your word count. Oh, I made 700, I did 200, but I also did this and blah blah whatever. So if you do have any channels, or if you have a channel and you have writing sprints, please comment that below. I would love to attend. And man, so this is essentially holding myself accountable to make sure that these last 2 weeks this gets done. Man, so that's that. So I'm trying to, I guess, hold myself accountable, get these words knocked out so I can make sure I got both these books done. Thank you all for listening and for watching. While you're here, go ahead and subscribe, like, hit the like button, all that good stuff. There's a podcast, Reading, Writing, Rain podcast. It is a bi-weekly podcast that comes out every Thursday. Please make sure to check that out wherever you listen to your podcasts. It's Apple, iTunes, Google Play, and all that good stuff. And here on YouTube, on the YouTube channel. I don't know where it'll be, either below or up top, but the podcast episodes are also uploaded here on YouTube, so please check that out. And I'm going to, I don't know, be back really soon, probably within the next couple days. And yeah, write with me. So until next time, read something, write something, and come back and tell me, Rain.